tell you what, you're going to love the Beyond Wrestling format. When we come into these studio tapings, we don't have any set cards in place. Maybe a couple matches in mind. But really, as we saw, the events unfold from the Off the Grid live event last night when Drew Gulak rushed off Darius Carter to come to the aid of Jarek 120. And he said, you know what, I like what I see out of this kid. I want to test him in the ring. And there we have it. That's how the match gets set up. It's as simple as that. Really, at Beyond Wrestling, I mean, with no authority figure, it's an instance of the inmates running the asylum. And Drew Gulak laid out the challenge to Jarek 120. We see Jarek 120 respectfully accepting. And Drew Gulak, I'm sure he's got some of the frustrations from his interactions with Darius Carter on his mind. He's going to be going one-on-one for the first time ever with Jarek 120. Of course, you're going to think that Drew Gulak and Darius Carter are going to have another encounter. Having an incredible bout at the Crises Precipitates Change taping right here in North Andover, Massachusetts at the New England Pro Wrestling Academy. You know, it took Gulak a while to get adjusted to that Beyond Wrestling environment. Didn't have too much luck. Lost his first 4 matches. But we saw him pick up a victory last night at the Off the Grid live event against Jack Farraville. A more traditional environment than he may be used to, with the fans as well as the wrestlers around ringside. But right here, back at the Beyond Wrestling studio taping, he's going to be careful to make sure that all of the other wrestlers are not getting inside of his head. He's going to concentrate on trying to unseat Jarek 120. Jarek 120, one of the most popular wrestlers on the entire Beyond Wrestling roster. That doesn't necessarily make him one of the most skilled. Drew Gulak is a world-traveled competitor. Almost 7 years of experience underneath his belt at such a young age. You gotta wonder, Drew Gulak, a no-nonsense competitor, if Jarek 120 is gonna be trying to utilize some of those illusions to get in his head. Want to tie up, and instead Gulak's just taking him down to the mat. Gulak not even want to test to see who the stronger competitor is. And Jarek 120 over the last year making great strides in improving his conditioning, his strength, utilizing the P90X program. A very proud proponent of that workout routine. You can see it's done wonders for him. Shed some weight, put on some muscle mass, improved his endurance. And he's certainly going to need to be at the top of his game in order to knock off a competitor like Drew Gulak.
So we're going to do it again. I'm going to fall for that shit this time.
There you hear Jarek 120 saying he's not going to fall for it once again. Though it looks like, oh, he's drawn a proverbial line in the sand. Drew Gulak did not tie up in that Greco-Roman style knuckle lock previously. And as he inches closer to crossing the line, having a little fun right here. These two lie up, these two lock up. And Drew Gulak trying to stabilize his hand. That's Jarek 120.
What's that?
Instead of locking up,
Whoa!
pulling a quarter from behind Drew Gulak's ear. He didn't want to test strength at all. He wanted to make some money. And I'll tell you what, I can guarantee that in all of Drew Gulak's years, in all of his travels, he has never come across anything like that. You see the other wrestlers here in Beyond Wrestling. I don't think that anybody expected that. Now Drew Gulak not allowing Jarek 120 the opportunity to try and play those head games. Going right for that hammerlock, but to Jarek 120's credit, he has a reversal. He's not looking to trade holds with Drew Gulak, instead trying to attack that knee. Again, Gulak, a throwback to some of the earlier days of wrestling, not wearing those knee pads. honestly speaking, I'm really not sure what kind of an advantage it gives him. I'm not sure if it gives him an advantage in terms of mobility, if it's just for stylistic purposes, but he's going to be careful, especially in such a physical sport, such as professional wrestling. I mean, I would say that knee injuries are probably the most common. Jarek 120 crossing the line, going for the headlock and immediately using leverage to take Drew Gulak down to the mat, using the advantage of those longer limbs. But this is a position that Drew Gulak can find many counters from. Trying to go for those head scissors, just getting outpowered. Gulak telling the official that he is not going to be submitting. The head scissors didn't work, so he's able to roll his opponent over into that front face lock. Now just trying to muscle him around, able to get him into that waist lock, drive him down. Now Gulak has Jarek 120 down on the mat. Not in a position where he can pin him, but in a position where he can control the head. When you control the head, you control the body. And just sending Jarek 120 down to the mat, smacking the back of his skull on the canvas. Once again, controlling the head, now able to snap here Jarek 120 in position, but as he goes for the headlock, the escape artist Jarek 120 with a counter. He's got the hammerlock applied with both arms. As Drew Gulak looks for a counter, Jarek 120 is right in a position to keep the hold applied. Don't let the magic fool you. Jarek 120 is a skilled wrestler. The question is whether or not he is as skilled as Drew Gulak. Drew Gulak will counter the headlock, that top wrist lock, then with the leg sweep. Now he's got that front chancery applied. Keeping the hold on. Jarek 120 able to pull away one of the arms. Now he's got the front chancery applied. He's able to keep the hold applied, and again! Jarek 120, there we see him using his long limbs to try and apply more leverage, more pressure. And Drew Gulak unable to find a counter, just pushing his opponent off of him. And look at that, Jarek 120 sweeping the legs from Drew Gulak. Gulak tumbling to the floor. I think that Gulak thought that he was going to get some separation, maybe get a breather, and instead gets caught with the double knees. Bad landing for Jarek 120, even worse for Drew Gulak, who may have hit the back of his head on the concrete. Notwithstanding the fact that he had his opponent driving both of his padded knees into his chest. Now Jarek 120 trying to put Drew Gulak in a position. He's going to be looking to show off that upper body strength, I think, with perhaps a flag pull press. Jarek 120 may be taking too much time. He's trying to get the support of the other wrestlers. Able to hold his body before coming down with that elbow drop. Jarek 120 really letting the moment sink in. As the other wrestlers around ringside applaud him for his efforts so far in the match. As he goes for the first pinfall, he's met with a kick out at one. Didn't even have a chance to hook the leg. Now trying to wear Gulak down with that rear chin lock. Of course, the most dangerous maneuver in Drew Gulak's offensive repertoire has got to be that Gulak, that dragon sleeper style hold. Jarek 120 going to make sure that he can't put himself in a position where Gulak can find that hold. Came charging with the double knees, but only met with a one count once again. Jarek 120 with a series of kicks. Again, using his long legs to his advantage, springing off that first rope. Come down with the stomp, added impact. Catching Gulak with that European uppercut. And honestly, I'm going to say that Jarek 120 so far has wrestled the perfect match. Not making any mistakes. But Gulak just too strong, able to find a counter. Jarek sidesteps him and kicking him in the face. Jarek 120 with the wherewithal to get out of the way of the charging attack from Drew Gulak, and he's been able to stay one step ahead of his opponent for the better part of 10 minutes. Another European uppercut. Now he's going to be looking for that split leg moonsault. Oh no! Got his leg caught up and landed on his own head. We need the official to check on him. His head bent at an extremely uncomfortable angle. He could have knocked himself out. He could have done serious damage to his neck, and now we see the official, some of the other wrestlers checking on the condition of Jarek 120. Perhaps getting a little bit too confident. He went for a high-risk maneuver. It did not pay off. And this is the opening that Drew Gulak needed to capitalize. I mean, Drew Gulak still trying to shake the cobwebs. But Jarek 120's in serious trouble. And I mean, oh, you can tell Gulak's going to continue to target the neck. And honestly, you can't blame him. And honestly, that's the worst mistake that Jarek 120 could have made, because that Gulak, that Dragon Sleeper style hold, does target the neck. I mean, the nearly lifeless body of Jarek 120 barely stirring. Ever since he missed that split leg moonsault, you're almost going to wonder if he was able to nail it. If he would have put Drew Gulak away. Now again, a clubbing blow to the neck. Just bringing the base of the forearm across the top of the back, and Jarek 120, at least with a wherewithal, trying to hold onto the rope. He cannot be pinned or forced to submit if he's by the ropes. And Drew Gulak now trying to bring him to the center of the ring. Grabbing one of the long legs of Jarek 120. He's going to be trying to force him to submit right here. And honestly, I've got to admit, I'm a little bit confused by the strategy, a little bit befuddled. I would have thought that Drew Gulak would have tried to continue to attack the neck. But you're almost going to wonder. Oh, I'm starting to see the strategy of Gulak unfold right here. Transitioning to a different hold. And he's able to plant the boots into the neck and the spine of Jarek 120. Oh, and again! Now flipping him over. Is he going to have the strength to kick out? Just barely. Just barely. And Jarek 120 out of desperation, responding with a kick to the face. Met with a boot of Drew Gulak. You do not want to piss him off. Oh, and again on the neck. He's out. He's out. I don't know how much more Jarek 120 can endure. I can't believe that he's fighting back right now. Taken down with that forearm, retreating to the corner. I mean, his neck has to be really bothering him right now. When you do damage to the neck, you do damage to all the other limbs too. He's going to be sucking the strength out of his entire body. Able to get the boot up, perhaps on instinct alone. He's going to be trying it again. No! No! And this time crotched. And Jarek 120 with tunnel vision. I mean, he really, you know, and that comes with experience. He's going to learn to change up his strategy. Not only to adapt to the strengths of his opponent, but his own weaknesses as the match goes on. There's no way he's kicking out of that. Spoke too soon. That flying drop kick. And while Gulak is arguing with the official, Jericho's going for a crucifix. Not nearly enough strength to keep the hold on. And again, Gulak targeting the spine. The other wrestlers here really giving it to Gulak, but again, with his record coming into the match, you almost can't blame him for being this aggressive. With that said, he still can't put Jarek 120 away. So, you know, you got to ask the question, has he crossed the line? His opponent's still fighting back. Finding counters for those strikes. Couldn't find a counter for that big boot. You're going to think that Gulak's going to be looking for a backdrop suplex or backdrop driver. Jarek 120 able to counter, but not landing on his feet. Looking for the Irish whip. Just swinging wildly. I mean, Jarek 120 on spaghetti legs right here, trying to muster up something resembling a comeback. Spiking Gulak down with that DDT. You can see Jarek 120 just not fighting at full capacity. Give him credit, very gutsy performance, really trying to tough it out. But with each passing second, he's growing weaker and weaker. Not a very effective pinning combination whatsoever. I mean, trying to follow up on that DDT attempt. And now once again turning to the wrestlers to try and feed off their energy. He had his opponent down on the mat. I don't think it was wise to let Gulak get back up to his feet. Caught up with that spinning soul butt. Having him kiss the mat. Jarek 120 reaching deep into his bag of tricks. Now using magic to bring Gulak up to his feet for that half Nelson, half chicken wing suplex. He's able to connect. Taking too much time to get to the pin. Clutching his head, going for the lateral press. Didn't hook the legs. Jarek 120 keeps making little mistakes. And honestly, it's shocking that he's even gotten this far in the match. Now once again trying to use mind control over his opponent. See if he's going to be able to hypnotize. Well, instead he's just going to try and knock him out. He's going to put him to sleep the old-fashioned way with a kick right to the face. He's got him beat. And learning from his previous mistake, not only hooking the leg, but grapevine the free one. Gulak can't afford to lose another match here in Beyond Wrestling. It's that simple. Of course, this is a match that both wrestlers wanted, a match that both wrestlers agreed to earlier today. Certainly one of the most competitive, one of the most physical affairs we've seen in Beyond Wrestling in quite some time. Jarek 120 with an ace up his sleeve looking for that Canadian Destroyer. Instead, Drew Gulak able to sidestep him, just a scintillating chop. Just throwing him into position. Oh no, he's going to be looking for that clothesline. Almost took his head off. Going to be looking from behind. Oh, another shot to the neck. Gulak has the perfect opportunity to strap on the Gulak. Not sure what he's waiting for right here. Instead, again, going for that backdrop driver. Oh, no! Into the backbreaker. And Jarek 120 cannot kick out of that. With all the damage done to the back and the neck. Drew Gulak, instead of looking for a submission victory, putting an emphatic exclamation point on the end of this one. Popping Jarek 120, spine first across his knee. And you know, I was alluding to earlier in the match, questioning why Drew Gulak does not wear knee pads, and you gotta think it's to utilize maneuvers like this. Nothing but the back right to the bone, the kneecap, one of the hardest bones in the human body. And it's the official helping Drew Gulak to his feet. Thought for a second we were going to see a smile. Another no-nonsense performance out of Drew Gulak. And Jarek escaping the ring. But Gulak wants him back in. Uh-oh, Gulak trying another line. And I'll tell you what, we've seen Jarek 120 come so far. I've called him the Beyond Wrestling success story. A complete unknown. We've seen what the platform of Beyond Wrestling can do for a wrestler like him. The improvements that he's made not only in his wrestling game, but his actual life outside of wrestling. And earning the respect of one of the very best on the scene right now. and Drew Gulak. Jarek 120 not even scheduled to be here this weekend, but stepping in for an absent Lewis Linden just days before he's scheduled to move to California. Unbelievable performance out of both competitors.